Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2054 American Occupational Therapy Association Conference. My name is Bria Biddle, and I will be presenting the Eleanor Clark Slagle Lectureship Award to this year's recipient. It is my pleasure to present this award to Dr. Rachel Simone, Doctor of Occupational Therapy, as well as her supporting team, Leonie Curvez, Servani Serviti, Natalie Roby, Jenna Bernhardt, and myself. As an occupational therapist honored by her peers, we come together to recognize her hard work and dedication to the advancement of occupational therapy practice. Occupational therapy is always evolving with time. There are numerous advancements in specialties, fields, and the interventions in which the therapists practice in. Dr. Simone and her team have highlighted an area in innovations by developing fishing and boating interventions by transforming it into not only a specialized leisure activity, but also a therapeutic mean for survival. Occupational therapy is the only profession that helps people across the lifespan to do the things they want and need to do through the therapeutic use of daily activities, occupations. Occupational therapy is built upon the idea of a holistic approach when handling clients and using an evidence-based approach to do so. It is a profession in which adapting to the environment to best suit its client is imperative. Eleanor Clark Slagle dedicated her life to the creation and innovation of occupational therapy. She vowed to help patients to readjust themselves both socially and industrially through organized occupation. We believe she would be happy with the readjustments we are looking to make when it comes to our changing global climate.
The political climate of the world has continually gone hand in hand with the prevalence and direction of the occupational therapy profession. For example, the Great Depression resulted in a decline of occupational therapy. However, it was not until World War II that occupational therapists were sought after in high demand. In the early 2020s, occupational therapy underwent another shift with the evolution of technology. At this time, we saw a shift in practice settings from schools, mental health, hospitals, home health, and community health settings to academic settings, freestanding outpatient, early intervention, and long-term care skilled nursing facilities. Just as we see in these previous eras, it is evident that our current political climate has impacted our profession. Currently, occupational therapy is again on the rise in the era of climate change. Due to the drastic change in climate, the physical context and environment in which one performs occupational therapy has been forced to evolve into what is today. Our boating and fishing ideas for innovation have changed alongside this change in physical environment. As opposed to the typical indoor settings we are accustomed to today, this aspect of therapy for boating, sailing, and fishing would hold therapy in an outdoor setting mainly.
Global climate change has already had numerous observable effects on change in the natural environment, agriculture, energy production, land and water resources, transportation, human health and welfare, human social economic systems, and biological diversity. Glaciers have shrunk, ice on rivers and lakes are breaking up earlier, plant and animal ranges have shifted, and trees are flowering sooner. Effects that scientists had predicted are resulting now and sooner than expected, such as loss of sea ice. Accelerated sea levels rise as well as longer and more intense heat waves. Based on the current trend, temperatures are expected to spike significantly, as well as sea levels rising up to 4 feet by 2100 due to the melting land and expansion of seawater as a result of prolonged and elevated temperatures. This also includes storm surges and high tides combining with sea level rises to increase flooding. Arctic sea ice is now declining at a rate of 12.8% per decade. The alarming impact of global warming is impending costly effects not only on the environment but also risks implications for public health as well. Due to the heavy alterations in climate, bodies of water are able to provide a growing share of food supply. With aquaculture growing rapidly, the total fish supply is expected to hit 186 million tons in 2030, up from 154 million tons in 2011. Considering fish and other seafood as a primary source of food source has not always been common. However, based on the dramatic shift in weather, it is critical to view this as another means for survival in the future.
The person-environment occupation model is a model that accentuates occupational performance by interactions between the person, environment, and occupations. In particular, the environment domain includes physical, cultural, institutional, social, and socioeconomic environment. Although the three aspects of the model, person, environment, and occupation, coincide with one another, one area may now lean more heavily on survival. With boating, fishing, and sailing ideal in mind, socioeconomic status would play a huge role in our everyday living, even more so than it does today. Once global climate change has reached its peak, water resources and transportation through water will be unavoidable. Those that may not have the means for a boat, the means to properly know how to operate a boat, learn to fish, tie essential knots, hook bait, and or sail the seas, this may lead to unfit conditions for survival. Not to mention those who are unable to do these things based on disability, disease, loss of fine motor skills, or the general socioeconomic standards for gaining training and therapy to perform these skills.
With ongoing climate change, fishing and boating are needed for survival. Interventions will teach clients how to safely enter and exit a boat, safely operate a boat, bait a hook, tie a fishing line, casting a line, the steps for catching a fish, and how to properly get all the edible meat off of a fish. In addition, boating sailing skills must be learned, as well as learning specific knots for docking sailing the boat. The client will be shown how to operate sails, steer a boat, and dock a boat. Some of the interventions can be practiced anywhere. For example, in the home, rehabilitation facility, simulation center, or in the environment itself. Others, for example, operating a boat and catching a fish will have to be performed in a suitable environment. There aren't a lot of interventions performed on moving water. Usually, they are performed in pools. This will give clients an extra challenge in performing the task, like a real-life simulation.
With this innovation of focus, we can reach all clients, whether persons, groups, or populations. It will focus on improving various performance skills, including motor, process, and social interaction. Specifically, clients will practice stabilizing their body on the boat and gripping the knots and fishing rods for their motor skills. To improve processing skills, this will be focusing on the attention span to the task of fishing at hand, and will be practicing their sequencing skills when learning to catch a fish. They will experience social skills and working together with other clients on the boat. This intervention can lead to a progressive change in a client's performance patterns. We believe that giving them the opportunity to get on a boat and learning fishing skills can be implemented in their daily routines, not only to help with their therapy needs, but for survival needs as well. We believe it is time for the domain of occupational therapists to extend to this trade and explore the possibilities of successful outcomes for this intervention. I just want to thank the 2054 American Occupational Therapy Association Conference for awarding my team and I the Eleanor Clark Slagle Lectureship Award. It is a huge honor to be recognized for our innovating work in the occupational therapy field.